You're finally done procrastinating, and now you're trying to get back to drawing all over again. So you finally open that sketchbook, pick up your pencil, only to find yourself scrolling back on your phone again. This time you put it away and try to focus, only for you to end up putting so much pressure on yourself and to close that sketchbook disappointed. If this sounds like a familiar pattern, you're on the right video. Hi, hope you're doing great. I've been a self-taught artist for 8 years. I have quit and came back to art multiple times throughout my journey. So what you're going through, I have experienced many times. Sometimes I would barely get out of my art block and get myself back to drawing again. Today, I paint and draw for hours non-stop and I actually enjoy it. In this video, I'm gonna show you the 4 principles that made me build the habit of drawing every day consistently. So first of all, let me ask you this. What if I told you that from now on, you have to draw for 4 hours straight every day? I can already hear your mind sighing at the thought of this. Have you ever watched those motivational videos and you got this immense adrenaline rush and you promise yourself that you're gonna draw every day for 2 hours at minimum? The first day you're excited, you commit to it. The next day, not as much, but you still keep going. Fast forward into the next week, you're burned out and barely feel like doing it anymore. The reason why you can't keep up is that you're doing too much and putting way bigger expectations on yourself. When you fail to uphold these expectations and promises, you end up being very disappointed on yourself and you give up due to the pressure, which leaves you with this negative experience and your mind starts dreading the thought of picking the pencil again. So instead of getting that dopamine hit, you get hit with disappointment. The brain concludes, why bother? This isn't worth the energy. If this is a cycle you've been trapped into, it's time for you to give up completely on these big goals and high expectations and just start small. This is something that I'm very guilty of, is putting too much pressure on yourself. The less you demand, the more your brain is willingly dives in. And ironically, that's when progress happens the fastest. That's when my daily 10-minute practice comes in. Every day, try on drawing for at least 10 minutes. Draw whatever you enjoy. No pressure, just whatever you enjoy. By letting go of all these expectations and just enjoying the process of drawing for at least 10 minutes, you're impressing your mind with a positive experience, which makes your mind more willingly to do and commit to the habit rather than dreading it and quitting. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever went on TikTok, randomly watched a TikTok video about some art challenge and felt like picking the pencil and trying it for yourself? Or you watched a YouTube video of your favorite artist and felt the urge to start painting out of nowhere? The reason why you felt that is because of the mirror neuron effect. What's that? The mirror neuron effect describes how specialized brain cells activate both when a person performs an action or when they observe someone else performing the same action. How does that apply to our situation? Well, in art, when you see someone drawing, your mirror neurons fire the motor parent for drawing even though you're just watching. If you're curious about this, I linked the whole article about this below in the description if you're curious. So how can we use this to our advantage? The silent partner method. Play a time-lapse or live stream drawing of your favorite artist in the background while you sketch. That way, your brain absorbs the rhythm while you work, keeping you motivated. This is something that I do a lot. Whenever I start painting and get frustrated with the process or I get really lost or overwhelmed, I often found myself going on YouTube looking for my favorite artists, launching their time-lapse on my second screen, just watching their process and how they go about it in their painting motivates me to keep working on my own artworks, so I don't end up giving up and going crying in bed, you know? So in short, the mirror neuron effect explains why watching art isn't just wasting time actually. Your brain starts sketching in silence the moment you see someone else draw. And the invisible rehearsal nudges you to grab the pencil yourself. So for my next piece of advice, I bet you already heard this many times before. Instead of wasting your time scrolling, put down your phone and start drawing. Yeah, you heard this so many times before. I literally just repeated this piece of advice at the beginning of the video. So I'm one of the artists that told you to put down your phone and stop scrolling. Just so I can tell you right now to pick it up again. And this time we're gonna start scrolling to our advantage. What if I told you that you can use social media to psychologically motivate yourself to draw more? Would you believe me? No, I won't really. But go ahead, I'll give you a chance. Yes, you can do that. And here's why. We humans are social creatures. We develop in a way to prioritize social recognition and feedback. I know you probably already know this. I think I just added this to sound a little bit more smarter. Did it work? Tell me in the comments.
Yes!
According to social psychology, our identity is not just who we think we are, but also who others reflect back to us. When you draw and keep it hidden, your brain just files it away as, okay, I guess we draw sometimes. But the moment you share what you've drawn, even with just one friend or online, you get subtle validation. People react with, oh, so you're an artist. artist. That outside reflection starts to shape your identity as an artist, and the stronger your self-concept is as an artist, the easier it is to keep drawing. It's a feedback loop. Sharing reinforces your identity, and your identity reinforces the habit. To reinforce my point, I found this Instagram account that does exactly what I'm telling you about. These artists have shared their art since they decided to start learning, with challenges like, this is my improvement after 100 days of learning art. Sharing your art on social media not only reinforces your identity as an artist, but the positive feedback loop you get from people liking and commenting on your art trigger a dopamine release in your mind that motivates you and tricks your mind to keep practicing art and enjoying it. When I say share your work on social media, I don't mean putting this immense pressure on yourself where you have to post every single day and you have to keep bumping up content and post after post. Just share the pieces that you really like, share the process behind, share your improvements with your audience, but keep it minimal and avoid putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. Just have fun with it. If you're not really interested in social media, you can always do this by showing your work to friends or family and ask them for their feedback. This feedback loop fuels your motivation and rewires your mind to love the process as your skill grows and as you keep sharing your progress with your entourage. The more you keep improving and sharing that progress, the more your entourage or your audience keep validating your improvement, and the more your mind is motivated to keep going. Now moving to the fourth and final principle that I wanted to talk about. You know the feeling you get when you're so invested in a show or a movie, and as you reach the end, it ends up with a cliffhanger. So you end up spending the whole entire night thinking about thousands and thousands of theories, watching fan theories on how the next season or movie will start. In psychology, that mental reaction is what we call the Zeigarnik effect. Okay, so how does this tie up with what we're talking about here? Let me show you. The brain remembers unfinished tasks more strongly than completed ones. Like that unfinished homework you keep postponing until last minute before the deadline. Once something is finished, your brain closes that mental tab and moves on. When that task is incomplete, subconscious keeps nudging you. Hey, don't forget this, don't forget this. You know you have to work on this, you have to work on this, don't forget about this, you know. But we can use this effect to our advantage. If you always stop drawing when you're tired or really burned out, your brain associates the habit of drawing with fatigue and avoidance. The loop of building the habit ends up breaking and you end up dreading it more than anything. So it's better to end your drawing sessions on a good note or a cliffhanger. Let's say you end up making a beautiful sketch that you're too tired to work on or render out. Best thing to do is to leave it until the next drawing session. That way you don't burn yourself out and you're leaving an exciting element that drives you to come back. The next day or the next drawing session, you're already itching to continue. You start with momentum instead of resistance. This is why the Zeigarnik effect is a powerful principle to help you build up the habit of drawing consistently. Low friction to restart. You don't need to think, what should I draw today? Yesterday's sketch or the sketch from the last drawing session is already waiting. You get automatic motivation. The unfinished state creates a pull so you don't have to push yourself. That pull excites you and motivates you to come back. Instead of starting cold every time, you re-enter mid-flow. It's kind of like when you have that sketch, so you're gonna start working on it, and all those ideas that you had for the sketch in the last drawing session are all flowing back and coming back in your mind. So to use this to your advantage, don't stop drawing only if you're really tired or burnt out. Stop when you're still curious, when there's still excitement, by leaving things unfinished. You hack your brain's natural craving for closure. That craving pulls you back, turning drawing into an irresistible cycle. And with this, we reach the end. In this video today, we learned the power of quick daily habits. Drawing for 10 minutes every day is way better than putting high expectations on yourself that will end up burning you out and making you quit. The second thing we learned is the mirror neuron effect, how watching artists draw can fire this neuron and drive you to pick up the pencil on your turn. The exhibit principle. Instead of wasting time scrolling on social media, you can now use social media to create that feedback loop to keep you going, or create that feedback loop from your friends and relatives to motivate you to keep drawing. And last but not least, the Zeigarnik effect. We learned about the cliffhanger effect and how to use it to trick your mind, trick your brain into always coming back. So the thing is, after reflecting on my own personal journey, I found that unconsciously I was abiding by this principle, even without knowing it or consciously following them, and how they contributed and influenced me to keep coming back and drawing every single day. And we reached the end. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share this to your artist friends who may also struggle with the same problem. Subscribe to my channel for more informative videos like this. See you in the next one. Bye!